What's up guys, I'm George Riyad and today I'm going to be starting a new series on my account called the Book Club, where I'm going to be reviewing some books that I've read, giving my 2 cents on it. These books are generally entrepreneurship, finance, real estate or business books. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about Marc Randolph's book, This Will Never Work. Okay, who is Marc Randolph? I'm pretty sure everyone has seen the red and black logo whenever they come to watch a movie. I'm sure you've heard of the frame Netflix and chill. And you stream movies on your iPad, your phone and your laptop all the time using Netflix. Yes, Marc Randolph was the CEO and co-founder of Netflix. So this book talks about the journey that Marc Randolph went through organizing and starting up Netflix and the origin of the story. How did Netflix become this huge streaming platform that everyone uses now? Marc and Reed Hastings, who's the other co-founder of Netflix, weren't just high school friends and then one day decided to make Netflix. That's not how the story goes. Instead, Marc founded a company called Integrity QA, which was bought by Reed's company Pure Atria. After the acquisition, Marc was the VP of marketing. So he was a pretty high executive in the company and he was pretty close with Reed. And they also lived next to each other. So then they started to carpool all the way over the Santa Cruz mountains to save some money. Over the time of them driving together to work, they built a strong relationship. In 1997, Reed's company Pure Atria was being acquired for $700 million. That was the biggest acquisition in Silicon Valley at the time. Now, as both Marc and Reed were about to lose their jobs, they would bounce ideas of starting a new company together. Marc came up with ideas of customizing baseball bats, personalized shampoo, customized dog food, and handmade surfboard. Now Reed was well known and educated in the VC/investing world, and he knew what would work and what wouldn't work. Marc finally pitched the idea about videotapes to Reed. Marc got the idea from spending endless hours watching Aladdin while trying to put his daughter to sleep. Reed didn't like the idea at first because he had just gotten slapped with a $45 late fee from Blockbuster. Then he started to get interested and started pondering while he was driving to work. The title of the book came from Randolph telling his idea about selling videotapes online for customers to rent and to compete with brick and mortar stores such as Blockbuster to his wife. And she yelled back saying that will never work. Marc and his teammates that were also about to lose their jobs came together around the whiteboard and started to come up with ideas to make this work. They started to realize that sending out videotapes which were bulky and big to deliver was going to be expensive. In the summer of that year, the technology of DVD was advanced. First consumer DVD player went on sale in the United States, and that sparked a light bulb in Marc's head. He knew that instead of videotapes, if he sent out DVDs which was compact and small, that they could just put into an envelope and ship it out to customers, that it would be a lot less expensive than sending out bulky videotapes. And he knew that this was going to work, and if they got in early, they'll capture a bigger market. So Marc thought about testing his idea. He went and bought a music CD from the nearest music store. He then went and put the CD in an envelope and sent it through the post to Reed's house, which was in Santa Cruz. Reed received the CD undamaged and everything was fine. So Marc thought that that's it. He finally got the idea to work. But then months later, he realized that the people working at the post office were handling that were being sent out to people that were living in the same postcode. So Marc knew that if he was to send CDs in a different state or far away, that this wasn't the case and that they would require further protection than just an envelope. Both Marc and Reed raised some capital for the company, saw its valuation at $5 million. Reed had a 70% ownership stake when he put in an additional $2 million, leaving Marc with 30% of the company. In 1998, Netflix went live on the internet, and this saw so many people going on their website, flooding it, and eventually the servers crashed. There were so many problems that Netflix didn't know was wrong with the website, but these were good problems that they liked and wanted to solve. Slowly they would fix the issues and implement new things to test out for customers. After 2 months, they realized that majority of the sales were coming from actually selling movies instead of renting them out to customers. And that wasn't the original plan when they started the company. So they went back to brainstorming ideas on how to make customers rent from them. Now Reed was starting to get concerned with Marc's financial instinct and strategies. And he decided that Marc should step down as CEO and Reed will take over from there. Marc was very angry at first because this is the company that he started himself. But he realized that without Reed, they wouldn't have been able to raise capital to start the company. And that the best for the company was indeed that Marc should step down and just become a president instead of the CEO. And that's what ended up happening. Netflix then cracked on the rental problem of not incurring enough customers to rent from them. So they came up with the idea of a monthly subscription model, which was customers would pay monthly to rent movies and keep them for as long as they want. Once they were done with the movie, they would send that out to the next customer that wanted it. And Netflix will send the original customer the next movie that they wanted to rent out. This was very successful, and traffic on the website grew by 300%. Now, Netflix wanted to go public in the year 2000, but the dot-com bubble burst just happened, and not many VC and investment banks wanted to invest. They thought Netflix was just another company that needed money and will eventually go bankrupt. The reasoning why Netflix at the time wanted to go public was because they had a valuation of $100 million and they were burning through cash a lot. They needed to fix that problem. They couldn't go public, so then they realized that they needed to cut some costs down. And the only way that they could do that was by firing some people and downsizing. They got rid of 40% of the workforce. But there was a positive outcome to that. They were more productive, and they only kept top-notch professionals that were able to do many tasks at the top level. In 2002, Netflix finally went public at $16.19 a share, which changed Mark's life financially. Mark was once advised that you should not keep all your stocks in one company. And if it was to go public or a huge spike was to happen, you should sell some to be safe. So Mark took that advice to heart, and he knew that he never needed to work again. So Mark knew that it was time to sell off some of his shares. But in the public and analysts' eyes, a top executive selling his shares was not a good sign. It meant that something wrong was happening inside the company that no one knew about. And Mark knew that the only way that he could sell some shares without getting attention to Netflix was if he stepped down as president. So Mark finally decided that he needed to step down as president and also give up his board of directors chair, which he valued so much. Once that happened, he was finally able to sell his shares, and then he was financially free for the rest of his life. Mark now spends his time coaching other CEOs and spends time with his loving family, knowing that he doesn't have to work again because they are financially free. And that was the happy ending of the story. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this new series of me summarizing books that I've read. Now, if you really want to learn from other CEOs about how they started their company and how they made it alive through hardship, then I really recommend this book. That Will Never Work by Marc Randolph. You can grab on Amazon, Book Depository, or your nearest bookstore. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. It will mean the world to me. Have a great day.